Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship and looked at the blue dot ahead. Earth. Home. He had never seen it before, but his grandfather told him stories. Stories of green forests and blue oceans. Stories of a world where humans belonged. 300 years ago, the aliens kicked humanity out. They called themselves the hegemony. They said humans were too dangerous, too wild, too hard to control. So they forced every human to leave Earth and go to the cold, empty places. At the edge of space, Jake's people had been running ever since, living on dead rocks and broken stations, working in mines that killed them slowly, breathing recycled air that tasted like metal. But they never forgot where they came from. Now Jake commanded 12 ships, big ships. Each one carried more than 100,000 people, men, women, and children who had spent their whole lives dreaming of this moment. 2 million humans, all heading home. "Captain," said Amy Rodriguez from her station. She was his best engineer. Small and quick, with hands that could fix anything. "We're getting close to the outer sensors. They'll see us soon." Jake nodded. They all knew this moment would come. The aliens would not just let them walk back to Earth. There would be a fight. "Any word from the other ships?" Jake asked. "All ready, sir," said Ben Parker, his weapons officer. Ben was young but smart. He had spent years learning how to fight in space. Captain Chun says her people are excited. Captain Wright's ground forces are ready to land. They all know what to do. Jake smiled. That was the thing about humans. They got excited about impossible things. Other species ran from danger. Humans ran toward it. His communication officer looked up. "Captain, we're getting a signal. It's coming from Earth." "Put it on screen." The view screen showed an alien face. It was gray and smooth, with large black eyes. Zelani. Jake had seen pictures of them in the old records. They were soldiers. Cold and efficient. They had taken Earth and turned it into a fortress. "Unknown ships," the alien said. Its voice was flat and emotionless. "You are entering restricted space. Turn around immediately, or you will be destroyed." Jake stepped forward. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human fleet. We're going home." The alien's eyes narrowed. "Humans are not permitted in this system. You are exiled by order of the hegemony. Leave now." "No." The word hung in the air. Simple, final. The alien seemed confused. "You do not understand. We have 10,000 ships. Orbital stations. Defense platforms. You have 12 ships. You cannot win." Jake looked around his bridge. His crew was watching him. Amy had her hand on her engine controls. Ben was checking his weapons. They were all ready to fight, ready to die if they had to. "Commander," Jake said to the alien, "what's your name?" "I am Vex Collar, military commander of Earth System Defense." "Well, Vex Collar, let me explain something to you. 300 years ago, you and your friends decided we were too dangerous for civilized space. You were right, but you made one mistake." "What mistake?" "You let us live." Jake could see confusion on the alien's face. Vex Collar had probably never dealt with humans before. Most aliens in the galaxy were reasonable. They listened to logic. They followed rules. They backed down when faced with superior force. Humans were different. "For 300 years, Jake continued, you've kept us on the edge of space. Dead worlds, toxic air, radiation storms, temperatures that should have killed us. And you know what happened?" Vex Collar said nothing. "We got stronger. We learned to live anywhere, to eat anything, to breathe poison and drink acid. We built new machines, new weapons, new ways to survive. You thought you were punishing us, but you were training us." Jake gestured to his crew. Every person on these ships has lived their whole life knowing that nowhere was safe, that no one would help us, that we could only count on each other. Do you know what that does to a species? You are still outnumbered, Vex Collar said, but his voice was less certain now. Numbers don't matter, Jake said. You're fighting for a job. We're fighting for home. You follow orders. We follow dreams. You have rules. We have nothing left to lose. Amy looked up from her station. Captain, they're moving ships into position. Looks like they're getting ready to attack. Jake nodded. He had expected this. The aliens wouldn't just let them pass. There would be blood today. Maybe a lot of blood. Tell all ships to prepare for battle, Jake ordered. But remember the plan. We don't run. We don't hide. We go straight through them. Ben looked worried. Sir, our shields are good, but they have so many ships. Ben, our shields get stronger when they shoot at us. Our engines get faster when we push them harder. Our weapons hit harder when we're angry. And right now, we're very angry. Jake turned back to the view screen. Vex Collar was still there, watching. Commander, Jake said quietly, we're going home. Nothing you do will stop us. Not your ships, not your stations, not your threats. We've come too far and waited too long. Earth is ours, and we're taking it. Back, the screen went dark. Around them, space filled with alien ships. Thousands of them, moving into attack position. Jake sat down in his captain's chair and smiled. After 300 years, humans were finally going home. The first alien ship fired at exactly 14:23 ship time. Jake Morrison watched the energy blast hit his shields and smiled. Around his ship, space lit up with thousands of weapons firing at once. The Zalani had brought everything they had. Shields. Holding. Amy Rodriguez called out from her station. Her fingers danced over the controls. Actually, they're getting stronger. Ben Parker laughed from his weapons station. They don't know, do they? They have no idea what we built. Jake looked at the tactical display. 10,000 alien ships surrounded his small fleet. It should have been a massacre. By every rule of space combat, the humans should already be dead. But humans had never been good at following rules. All ships, this is Morrison. Jake spoke into his communicator. Execute Plan Alpha, straight through the middle. You heard the captain, Amy said, pushing her engines to full power. Let's go home. The 12 human ships accelerated directly toward the center of the alien formation, not around it, not away from it, straight through the heart of the enemy. Fleet. The Zilani responded by firing everything they had. Energy beams, plasma bolts, missile swarms. The space around the human ships became a wall of destruction. Amy watched her shield readings with excitement. Captain, this is beautiful. Every shot makes us stronger. Look at these numbers. On her screen, the shield strength kept climbing. 20%, 50%, 100% above normal. The alien weapons were feeding the human shields, making them more powerful with every hit. How is this possible? Kama panicked. Voice over the alien communication channels. The humans had cracked their codes years ago. Ben grinned and activated his special systems. Let me show them something really fun. Suddenly, every alien ship in the area was flooded with human signals. Music, poetry, art, stories of home and family. The rigid Zilani military computers had never encountered anything like it. What is this noise? Demanded Commander Vex Collar. That's jazz music, Ben explained cheerfully, broadcasting on the alien command frequency. And some rock and roll. Oh, and I think you'll enjoy the poetry section. We have 300 years of longing for home to share with you. The alien formation began to wobble. Their ships were built for clean, logical warfare. Their computers couldn't process human creativity mixed with weapons data. Some ships started firing at their own allies by mistake. "This is Captain Chun," came a voice from the second human ship. "We're through their first line. Beginning ramming procedures." Jake switched to an external camera and watched in admiration as Lisa Chun's ship crashed directly into a Zalani cruiser. The alien ship crumpled like paper. The human ship barely slowed down. "Chun, report," Jake called. "All green here, Morrison. That was fun. Going for another one." The aliens had never seen anything like it. In 300 years of warfare, no species had ever used their own ships as weapons while trusting their technology to keep them alive. It was insane. It was impossible. It was perfectly human. "Amy, how are our engines?" Jake asked. "Running hot and loving it," Amy replied. "The more stress we put on them, the more power they give us. It's like they want to fight." That was another human innovation. Instead of building machines that worked perfectly under normal conditions, they built machines that got better under stress, just like humans themselves. Captain Wright's voice came over the communication system from the third ship. "We're breaking through their outer defense ring. The aliens are starting to panic." Jake could see it on his displays. The perfect Zalani formation was falling apart. Ships were breaking away from their positions. Some were even fleeing toward Earth. "All ships maintain course," Jake ordered. "Stay together. We're almost through." A massive alien battleship moved to block their path. It was 10 times bigger than any human ship. Its weapons could probably destroy a small moon. "That's mine," said Lisa Chun. Her ship accelerated straight toward the battleship. "Chun, that thing will crush you," Ben warned. "Probably," Lisa agreed. "But it won't stop me." The collision was spectacular. The alien battleship fired everything it had at the approaching human ship. Lisa's shields absorbed it all and kept getting stronger. When her ship hit the battleship, the impact sent shock waves through space. Both ships survived, but the battleship was spinning out of control. Lisa's ship pushed through and kept going. "Still here, boys," Lisa reported. "That tickled a little." The alien panic spread like wildfire. Ships that had been moving to attack suddenly changed course. Others stopped moving entirely, as if their crews couldn't decide what to do. "Unknown human ships," came a desperate voice over the alien channels. "Your tactics are against all laws of civilized warfare." Ben laughed. "We were never civilized. That's why you kicked us out, remember?" Jake watched as his small fleet carved a path through the heart of the alien armada. Behind them, the Zalani formation was in complete chaos. Ships were colliding with each other. Others were fleeing in random directions. "Captain," Amy said, checking her readings, "we're clear of the main fleet. The path to Earth is open." Jake looked at the beautiful blue world ahead of them, still surrounded by orbital stations and defense platforms, but the fleet that was supposed to stop them was broken and scattered. "All ships, prepare for planetary approach," Jake announced. "The real fight starts now." As they moved toward Earth, Jake could hear alien voices on the communication channels. They were reporting impossible things to their commanders. Ships that got stronger when attacked. Humans who seemed happy to be in mortal danger. Tactics that made no sense. The problem was simple. The aliens had spent 1,000 years fighting logical enemies who followed predictable rules. They had no idea how to fight a species that treated impossible odds as entertainment and viewed every setback as just another puzzle to solve. Behind them, the scattered remains of the Zalani fleet slowly regrouped, but their confidence was shattered. They had just learned what every bully eventually discovers. Sometimes the victim fights back, and sometimes the victim has spent 300 years learning how to hit harder than anyone thought possible. Colonel Sam Wright looked down at Earth through the window of his landing ship. The planet looked different from the old pictures. The aliens had built massive gray structures everywhere. Metal towers stretched into the sky. Defense platforms covered the continents like a disease. "This is going to be interesting," Sam said to his soldiers. The landing ship shook as alien weapons hit it from below. Dr. Kate Miller checked her readings from the science station. "The atmosphere has been changed," she reported. "High levels of toxic gases. The air will kill normal humans in minutes." Sam nodded. Good thing we're not normal humans anymore. For 300 years, humans had been forced to live in places that should have killed them. Dead worlds with poisonous air. Space stations with broken life support. Mining colonies where the water was radioactive. Kate's team had spent decades working on the solution. They called it adaptive biology. Human bodies that could change to survive anywhere. "Beginning descent," called the pilot. "We're taking heavy fire." Through the window, Sam could see the surface of Earth getting closer. Zelani defense towers fired streams of energy at the landing ships. Missile batteries launched swarms of explosives. The human ships didn't try to avoid the attacks. They flew straight through them. "Shields holding," Amy Rodriguez reported from her engineering station. She had come down with the ground forces to help with the heavy equipment. "The more they shoot, the stronger we get." Sam activated his communication system. "All units, this is right. Remember the plan. We don't go around obstacles. We don't wait for support. We go straight through everything until we reach the command centers." "Sir," said one of his younger officers, "intelligence reports show billions of Zelani soldiers on the surface. Underground bunkers, automated defense systems, energy barriers that can stop tank rounds." Sam smiled. "Sounds like fun." The landing ship touched down in the middle of a Zelani military base. Before it had even stopped moving, the doors opened, and humans poured out. The first thing that should have killed them was the air. The aliens had filled the atmosphere with gases that would burn human lungs and stop human hearts. Instead, the humans breathed deeply and kept running. Kate's modifications were working perfectly. As soon as the toxic air hit their lungs, their bodies began changing. New cells formed to process the poison. Blood chemistry shifted to handle the alien gases. "This air tastes terrible," one soldier complained, "but I can breathe it." The second thing that should have killed them was the alien weapons. Energy beams designed to destroy human nervous systems. The humans ran straight through them. "Energy barrier ahead," reported Sergeant Tony Cruz, Sam's second in command. "Intelligence says it can stop anything." "Let's test that," Sam replied. Human soldiers walked directly into the energy barrier. For a moment, electricity danced over their bodies. Then they pushed through to the other side. Kate's biology modifications were working even better than expected. The human nervous system was adapting in real time to handle the alien energy. Instead of being destroyed, the soldiers were becoming immune. "How is this possible?" Came panicked alien voices over the communication channels. The humans had no time to explain. They were too busy running toward the next obstacle. A Zelani tank battalion tried to stop them. The aliens fired explosive shells and plasma bolts. The humans scattered, regrouped, and kept advancing. When they reached the tanks, they climbed on top of them and forced open the hatches. "Surrender or fight," Sam told the alien crews. "We don't care which." Most of the aliens surrendered. They had never seen soldiers who seemed excited about being shot at dot. The real surprise came when the humans reached the first Zelani command bunker. It was built deep underground, protected by energy shields and automatic weapons. The entrance was guarded by hundreds of alien soldiers. Any normal army would have tried to find another way in, or called for heavy weapons, or waited for reinforcements. The humans dug through the walls. Kate's people had brought special tools. machines that could cut through any material by breaking it down at the molecular level. The aliens had built their bunkers to stop attacks from above and in front. They had never considered that someone might just ignore the doors and make their own entrance. "We're through," reported Lieutenant Dan Ross, leading the tunnel team. The aliens inside are very confused. Sam and his team poured through the hole in the wall. The Zalani inside were trained for conventional warfare. They had protocols for defending entrances and fighting in corridors. They had no protocols for fighting enemies, who appeared through solid walls while breathing poison air and ignoring energy weapons. "Attention Zilani forces," Sam announced in broken alien language. Kate's team had been working on translation systems. "This is our planet. You can leave or join us, but you cannot stop us." The alien commander stared at him. "Your language? How do you speak our words?" "We learn fast," Sam explained. "We had to. 300 years of living with everyone trying to kill us teaches you to adapt quickly." More human teams were reporting success across the continent. Energy barriers that should have been impossible to cross. Defense systems that should have stopped any attack. Underground bunkers that should have been impregnable. Nothing was stopping the humans. Every obstacle was just another problem to solve. "Sir," Tony reported, "the aliens are starting to retreat from forward positions. They're pulling back to the major cities." Sam nodded. He had expected this. The aliens were learning what humans already knew. There was no position so strong that determination couldn't break it. No defense so perfect that creativity couldn't. "Find a way through." Kate checked her readings again. "Biological adaptations are exceeding all projections. Our people are not just surviving the alien environment. They're thriving in it." Around them, the Zalani bunker was full of abandoned equipment and confused alien soldiers. The humans were already studying the alien technology, figuring out how it worked, planning how to use it better. All teams advanced to the next objectives. Sam ordered, "Remember, we're not just taking back our planet. We're coming home." Above them, more human ships were landing. Thousands of them, carrying millions of people who had dreamed of this moment their entire lives. The aliens had turned Earth into a fortress. But they had made one critical mistake. They had tried to keep humans out of a place that humans considered home, and nothing in the galaxy was stronger than a human who was going home. Admiral Matt Taylor stood on the bridge of his flagship in Earth orbit and watched the communication board light up like a festival. Messages were coming in from across the galaxy, hundreds of them, then thousands. "Sir," called communications. "Officer Lucy Grant, we're getting signals from everywhere. The vegan colonies want to negotiate trade agreements. The Altair system is asking for protection from the hegemony. 3 different species are offering to send us supplies." Matt shook, his head in amazement. 24 hours ago, nobody in the galaxy would admit they knew we existed. Now everyone wants to be our friend. On Earth below, the ground war was almost over. The Zalani were still fighting, but their heart wasn't in it anymore. Colonel Ryan Hughes had been sending reports that were hard to believe. "Admiral," Ryan's voice came over the communicator, "you need to hear this. I'm watching a squad of our people who got surrounded by 200 Zilani soldiers. The aliens have them completely trapped in a ruined building. Do they need support?" Matt asked. "No, sir. They're laughing." Matt raised an eyebrow. "Laughing?" "Yes, sir. They're treating it like a game. I heard one of them say, 'This is the most fun I've had all day.' They just figured out how to use the alien weapons better than the aliens do." That was the problem the galaxy was starting to understand. Humans didn't fight wars the way civilized. Species were supposed to fight them. They enjoyed it. Dr. Kate Miller's voice joined the conversation from her field laboratory. "Admiral, I'm getting reports from all over the planet. Our people aren't just surviving in the alien environment. They're improving it. They're making the air cleaner, the water purer. The planet is becoming more Earth-like just by having humans on it. Lucy looked up from her communication station. Sir, we just got a message from the Hegemony Council. They want to negotiate. What do they want? Matt asked. They're offering to recognize human territorial rights in exchange for humans, staying in this solar system and not expanding further. Matt laughed. Tell them we'll think about it after we finish taking our planet back. The truth was, the hegemony was panicking. For 1,000 years, they had controlled the galaxy by being stronger than everyone else. They protected weaker species from chaos and war. In return, those species followed hegemony rules and paid hegemony taxes. But protection only worked if people believed you could actually protect them. News of the human return had spread faster than light itself. Every species in the galaxy was hearing the same impossible stories. Humans who got stronger when attacked. Ships that treated massive enemy fleets as minor obstacles. Ground forces that viewed deadly energy barriers as inconveniences. Admiral, Lucy called out, the Centauri Republic just declared independence from the hegemony. They say if humans can fight back, so can they. That was the cascade effect Matt had been expecting. The galaxy's power structure was built on fear. Once that fear cracked, everything would fall apart. On Earth, Zelani Commander Vex Collar was learning the same lesson. His forces still outnumbered the humans 10-1. They had better weapons, stronger defenses, and superior positions. None of it mattered. Report, Vex Collar demanded from his command center. Sir, said his aide, Sector 7 has fallen. The humans walked through our energy maze like it wasn't there. Sector 12 reports human forces climbing our defense towers with their bare hands. Sector 23 says the humans are using our own artillery against us, but somehow making it more accurate. Vex Collar closed his eyes. In 300 years of military service, he had never encountered an enemy like this. Enemies were supposed to retreat when faced with superior force. They were supposed to seek cover when being shot at. They were supposed to fear death. Humans seemed to view death as just another interesting challenge. Sir, the aide continued, we're also getting reports that the humans are ... recruiting. Recruiting? Yes, sir. Every time they capture one of our positions, they offer our soldiers a choice. Join them or go home. Most are choosing to join them. That was perhaps the most disturbing part. The humans weren't trying to destroy their enemies. They were trying to convert them. Colonel Ryan Hughes had documented this phenomenon in his reports. Human soldiers would storm an alien position, eliminate the resistance, then sit down with the survivors and share food. They would show pictures of human families and talk about their dreams of home. It was psychological warfare at its most effective. How do you hate an enemy who offers you friendship after beating you in battle? Admiral, Lucy reported to Matt, the hegemony is mobilizing their reserve fleets. 50,000 ships from 12 different species. They're calling it the final response. Matt nodded. He had been expecting this too. The hegemony couldn't afford to let humans succeed. If one exiled species could fight their way home, others might try the same thing. How long until they arrive? Matt asked. 6 hours, sir. Time to call everyone home, Matt decided. Signal all ground forces to prepare for evacuation. Signal all ships to prepare for the biggest fight of our lives. But even as he gave the orders, Matt wasn't worried. The humans had come too far to be stopped now. They had survived 300 years of exile. They had crossed the galaxy against impossible odds. They had fought their way through overwhelming enemy forces. More importantly, they had reminded the galaxy what happened when you tried to keep humans away from something they wanted. Sir, called Tony Cruz from the tactical station, all human. Forces report, ready for whatever comes next. Matt smiled. That was the thing about humans. They were always ready for whatever came next. Even when what came next was impossible, especially when what came next was impossible, the galaxy was about to learn its final lesson about humanity. When you corner a species that thrives on adversity, you don't get surrender. You get evolution. Captain Jake Morrison looked at the tactical display and whistled softly. 50,000 enemy ships filled the space around Earth. Ships from 12 different species, all working together to stop the humans once and for all. That's a lot of ships, said Ben Parker from his weapons station. Yeah, Jake agreed. Should be fun. The human fleet was down to 8 working ships. The ground war on Earth had cost them 4 vessels and thousands of brave people. But Earth was theirs now. This Ilani had surrendered just hours before the big fleet arrived. Captain, Amy Rodriguez called from engineering. All ships report. Ready. Dr. Turner's new atmospheric systems are working perfectly. Dr. Alex Turner had spent the last day working on something crazy, even by human standards. Instead of trying to fight ship to ship against impossible odds, they were going to board the enemy vessels directly. All ships, this is Morrison. Jake announced, you know the plan. We don't destroy them. We convince them. Remember, these aren't our enemies. They're our future friends. Lisa Chun's voice came from the second ship. Copy that, Jake. My boarding teams are excited. They've been practicing their alien languages all night. The hegemony fleet moved into attack formation. The commander of the fleet was Admiral Kethvaris, a veteran of 100 battles. He had never lost a fight. Human ships, came his voice. Over the communication channels, you are surrounded and outnumbered 6,000 to 1. Surrender now, and you will be relocated to a suitable world. Continue to resist, and you will be destroyed. Jake activated his transmitter. Admiral, this is Captain Morrison. We appreciate the offer, but we're already home. Would you like to come aboard for dinner? My cook makes excellent alien-friendly food. There was silence from the hegemony fleet. Jake could almost hear them trying to figure out what kind of military strategy included dinner invitations. Attack, Admiral Kethvaros finally ordered. 50,000 ships opened fire at once. The space around Earth became a storm of energy and explosions. Any normal fleet would have been vaporized in seconds. The human ships accelerated straight into the enemy formation. Shields at 300% and climbing, Amy reported cheerfully. This is beautiful, Captain. They're making us stronger with every shot. Launch boarding pods, Jake ordered. Instead of firing weapons, the human ships launched thousands of small pods. Each pod carried a team of humans equipped with Dr. Turner's atmospheric adaptation systems. The pods flew through the storm of enemy fire and attached alien ships like metal parasites. Within minutes, humans were cutting through hull plating and entering enemy vessels. Boarding Team Alpha reporting, came a voice over the communicator. We're inside a hegemony cruiser. The crew seems very confused about why we're not trying to kill them. Remember the protocol, Jake reminded them. Friendship first, force second. What happened next had never occurred in the history of galactic warfare. Instead of fighting their way to the enemy bridge, the human boarding teams headed for the crew quarters. They brought food, music, and pictures of Earth. Attention alien crew, announced Sergeant Mary Foster to the terrified aliens. On her target ship, we're humans. We know you've been told we're dangerous. We are, but we're only dangerous to people who try to stop us from going home. Want to see pictures of our families? The psychological effect was devastating. The alien crews had been prepared for battle. They had weapons ready and defense plans in place. They were not prepared for heavily armed enemies who wanted to show them. Babypictures.Admiral Kethvaros watched his tactical display in horror. Red lights were appearing across his fleet as ship after ship reported being boarded. But the boarding teams weren't destroying anything. They were having conversations. What are they doing? He demanded. Sir, his aide reported, they appear to be recruiting our crews. The humans on ship Gamma 7 are teaching our people how to cook Earth food. The humans on ship Delta 12 are playing music and asking about our families. On Jake's ship, the reports kept coming in. Boarding Team Charlie here. The alien crew wants to know if they can visit Earth when this is over. I told them absolutely. Boarding Team Delta reporting. We've got 17 aliens who want to join our crew. They say fighting humans looks like more fun than fighting for the hegemony. Boarding Team Echo here. The ship's captain just asked if we need help capturing the other ships. I think we made some new friends. Admiral Kethvaros realized his fleet was falling apart. Not from military defeat, but from something much worse. His crews were beginning to like their attackers. All ships, destroy the human boarding pods immediately, he ordered. Sir, came a response from one of his captains. The humans are asking if we want to surrender or join them. They're offering trade partnerships and shared technology. They say they don't want to rule the galaxy. They just want to go home. That was the moment Admiral Kethvaros understood. The humans weren't trying to conquer anyone. They were trying to liberate everyone. Sir, his aide said quietly, 47 ships have already agreed to cease fire. The humans are treating their crews like honored guests. Jake received a direct communication from the Hegemony flagship. Captain Morrison, said Admiral Kethvaros, I request permission to come aboard your ship. Permission granted, Admiral. We'll have coffee ready. An hour later, Admiral Kethvaros sat in Jake's quarters, drinking human coffee and looking at pictures of Earth. Around them, the great battle had turned into the galaxy's largest peace negotiation. I don't understand, the Admiral said. You could have destroyed us. Your weapons, your tactics. Why didn't you fight? Jake smiled. Admiral, we've been fighting for 300 years. We're tired of fighting. We just wanted to come home. But if the galaxy wants to keep trying to stop us, we're ready to keep fighting forever. And if we don't try to stop you, then we can be friends. We can trade technology and share stories. We can explore the galaxy together instead of apart. Admiral Kethvaros looked out the window at Earth, blue and beautiful below them. The hegemony has ruled by fear for 1,000 years. Fear is useful, Jake agreed, but friendship is better. The Admiral nodded slowly. Captain Morrison, on behalf of the Hegemony Council, I formally recognize human sovereignty over Earth and all human settlements. We ... We would like to discuss a new kind of relationship. Jake stood up and extended his hand. Welcome to the new galaxy, Admiral. It's going to be a lot more interesting. Outside, human ships and alien ships flew side by side around the blue world that humans called home. The war was over. The galaxy would never be the same. After 300 years, humanity had finally learned the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the best way to win a war is to make your enemies want to be your friends. And sometimes going home changes everything.